Hey guys, what's up? So we are back at it today. Part 3 of the 2019 quad build. Got a few more parts. I'm still waiting for a couple main parts. I'm waiting for my intake. I have not ordered the exhaust yet. I got to do that. I'll probably order it next week. But I got all my brake lines, all my braking components. I got the intake should be here any day. I ordered that. So as you can see, I got my front brake lines, I got my rotors, I got a bunch of the miscellaneous bolts that I had ordered. I got my DP brake pads, which you guys probably saw in the previous video. I got the new rear brake line. I got the battery box. I actually won this rear caliper block off cooler plate from Gland Innovations. I won that I don't know, a week or so ago, so they sent me that. So huge thanks to those guys, John and Kara Gland. Great products, as most of you know. Pretty much the best case saver on the planet, as you guys can see right here. This thing is solid with the case saver that's on the engine, and then the additional piece that is on the swing arm. There's no way a chain can get bound up in here. And then if you do end up snapping a chain, your engine cases are safe. So I've been there before. I've snapped a couple chains in the past. I've done it on a KFX450. Snapped the chain, cracked the cases. And then I did it again a few years later on a YFZ450. Same thing, snapped the chain. I had a Moose case saver, and those cracked the cases as well. And I'm sure you guys know how expensive it is to rebuild the bottom end of an engine. It's not cheap. I mean, you're talking well over $1,000. So for this, for this little part that is, very reasonably priced, I think the whole setup is, well under $200. It's a great insurance policy to protect your engine. So I highly recommend that, guys. So I'm gonna get this rolling today. Probably start with the braking components, get all that done. And then I got ASV levers too. I got those in. So I got my brake and my clutch lever, so I can put those on. And then I'll probably get some wheels on this thing, because I do have to move this out of the way soon. The race bike now, she's tired. She needs some love, some serious love. The Florida GNCC and the Georgia GNCC were rough on her. I cracked the frame. I did weld it up. It should hold. It should hold for another race or two. But I do have a whole nother frame for that bike. Brand new frame, fresh powder coat. So I do need to do a frame swap. And then I also have, pretty much a brand new bottom end. So I'll put that in there with a fresh piston. The top end's fine. Well, the head is fine. That was just done by B&R, so that's fine. And then I got to send those shocks out. B&R is going to kill me when he gets those things, because those are long overdue. So after Steel Creek, this thing is going to get some serious love, and then hopefully, I'm not sure time-wise, I mean, I'm going to say probably 3 weeks before this bike is rideable. So hopefully I can make that happen. I got a lot to do, and then get it running, and then just get a good braking ride on it, and then it should be ready to race. So I'm going to get going here next couple afternoons, and just keep on trucking with the parts, get the thing on the wheel so I can move it around, and hopefully by the end of this video she'll be running. So I can't wait for that. I'm excited to ride this thing, excited to test out these new shocks. Just really excited to have a nice new fresh bike I don't have to worry about, and I can give this one a break and not rush to fix things and order parts and waste money on overnight shipping, because that sucks. So I've been doing that. I had to do that this week for some parts for this bike. I bent the tie rod also. I also had a stick. I don't know if you guys can see it. I had a stick come in here from Florida. It actually bent the caster bracket. It bent that straight down, or straight up, which it's fine. It didn't break it or anything, but that's supposed to be down. And then I also bent a tie rod, which I don't know if you can see that tie rod, but it does have a little kink in it. So I'm going to change that out before Steel Creek. But that was the damage from Florida. And then I finished off the frame at Georgia, which when you see that race video, it's coming out soon. I tagged the tree pretty good. Went for a little ride, Superman style. And I'm pretty sure that's what tweaked my frame. It already had a hairline crack, which I welded, but after hitting that tree, it just opened it up. And so it's time to retire that frame. Like I said, I got a new frame. I got a few new parts just to freshen this thing up and get the practice bike, you know, give the practice bike a little love, and then I'll be good to go. So stay tuned, guys. We're gonna rock and roll over here with this build. Tube. Hope you guys are all doing good. We are continuing on the new build today, part 3. I think this is my, I don't know, maybe 3rd or 4th afternoon putting this video together, trying to wrap it up. This is the old bike. I got her all fixed up after Steel Creek. I had an extra grab bar, luckily, so I got that on there. Did an oil change. I think that was about it. Oh, I changed the wire harness too. I think that may have been my stalling issue. The old one was in rough shape. It's over a year old. I was looking at it yesterday. It had a few good nicks in it. So I don't know if it was rubbing, like right here. So right there, I don't know if you can see, right there in that bottom one, that's 2 wires where you can see the copper. Another 2 right there. So I don't know if when it was getting wet or just if it was just rubbing the right way, it was affecting the idle. So that was my issue. The bike would not idle, and right when I let off the throttle it would stall. So I'm gonna try to ride it this weekend, and hopefully it's good, because I can't deal with that stuff anymore. So here we go. This is this is just me continuing my final part of the build video. So this is where she is. She's got some tires on her. I've been rolling her around. So I did have a little setback, minor setback, not a big deal. So my race harness, my race cut harness that I got, it was meant for an aftermarket battery box. So this is why this is kind of short. So the vortex, it's tough to see because I have the rear tail light on, but the vortex is about there, and you can see that's not going to fit. So my good buddy Jimmy Bortz, who makes my harnesses, he got me a new one cut. I received it today. Wired Out Racing, guys, check him out. I've been running his harnesses. I think this is my 3rd season. I have not had any issues with them. They work great. He also does the I don't know where I put it. He does the right here in front of me. So he also makes the custom tether and start buttons, all plug and play. So everything's clean, real nice. Everything goes together nice. Oh, these are nice, very nice, separate. And obviously the harness, you can see the difference. So this is the cut harness. Basically I eliminate the fuel pump relay, the speed sensor connection. The tip sensor connection's gone. Everything for the headlights is gone. Brake lights, headlights, all that's gone. He can build these pretty much however you want them. Some guys eliminate the fan relay, so it runs constantly, but I like to keep the fan relay because I like that to just operate like normal. And I also keep the idiot lights. A lot of guys get rid of all that, but I like to keep that. Just so if the quad is overheating, at least I know, which I usually, if it's a race, I'm not stopping, but I like to at least know, so I can show you some dirty, messed up harnesses just to see if we got a good one here. Yeah, this is probably a decent one to show you guys how much of this gets eliminated. So there is the stock YFZ450R harness. All right, you guys can see it. It's dirty, it's an old one, but that one's in good shape. I can use that as a backup. So I'll lay the clean one out for you guys. Let me put this down for a second. Put the camera down so I can move better. All right, so here is the race one. All right, so now it's pretty obvious how much gets taken out of these things. And it also prevents, because these rub a lot worse. I mean, you can see this one I don't think is in horrible shape, but they do have their rub spots. So this eliminates some of that, but obviously you're going to get some rubbing. I mean, racing these things, it takes its toll on these machines. So, and like I said, this harness, which Jimmy is going to redo for me, he's going to fix it, repair it, make it like new. This harness is probably almost 2 years old, so I definitely got my money's worth out of it. So I can't complain. And then, like I said, I got one new one for this bike. So today I'm gonna strip the old harness. Well, this is a new one also, but I'm going to remove this harness. I already started. I unplugged most of everything. I got to do the front, so I'm going to take this harness out. I'm going to put that harness in, and then I'm actually going to try to fire this thing up today. That's my plan. Once I get the harness in, I can put the fluids in here, and I can start it. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do today. Besides that, all I have left is I have to bleed the brakes. I have to do my hand guards. I got to do some new tires, but that's regardless of this bike. I got to do new tires anyway. I think that's pretty much it. I do not have a new exhaust yet. I still have to order one. I'm just holding off because cash is a little tight right now, so I'm going to hold off on that. But I do have the exhaust on here. I can steal for now just to get it fired up and test it out. And I think that's it. And then if all goes well, I would like to maybe try to ride this bike this weekend and break it in, give it a little shakedown, and maybe even race it for the next GNCC, which is in a week and a half. That'll be Camp Coker. That'll be round 5. So if all goes well, because I really need to spend some time on this bike and give it some TLC. Like I previously said in the earlier part of this video, I have a frame I need to swap, and then I have a brand new bottom end of an engine with a brand new cylinder, brand new piston. So I need to just give that bike some love. So that's the plan on that. So today we're going to finish working on this, and then hopefully a little later in the video this thing will be running. So stay tuned, guys. What's up, guys? All right, so continuing from yesterday, I did have some problems. I don't know if I'm going to put that in the video or not. I will go over it. Tried to start it yesterday. I tried 3 separate times. The first time I tried starting it, I got nothing. So I thought the cams were 180 degrees out. Turns out they weren't, but I ended up flipping around. Once I got everything back together the second time, I noticed my tether switch was not plugged in, and not up here, the connection that's down here. That's why it wouldn't start the first time. But it still wouldn't start after that. So I ended up switching the cams back to the way they were, plugged that in, tried again, nothing. So then I checked a couple things and just, there was no compression. So I did a compression test, and it ended up being, it was either the piston, the rings, somewhere in that area. Everything's new, the head's new, so that we checked off, that was good. So luckily I had another kit come in today for the other bike, so I figured just to eliminate any problems, I'll just swap that out, put that in, and I did check compression, and it was where it should be, so I knew we were good. Second problem I noticed yesterday, out of the weep hole for the water pump, it was dripping. So I had to drain all the oil. I drained all the coolant anyway because I did the top end. I had the water pump seal backwards. Honest mistake, it happens. So put a new seal in. No leaking. Everything's on. This isn't the new exhaust. I still have to get a new exhaust. This is all, exhaust is old. It's shot. The packing's gone. It sounds like crap, but here we go. First fire. So it really does sound like crap. I don't know if you guys can tell on the camera, but that thing, it's just real echoey. Sounds like crap. It's horrible. Well, I will get a pipe soon. I still got a few finishing touches to do to this thing, which I went over that in the beginning of the video, so I'm going to work on that over the next couple days, button everything up. But at least it's running now. That's a huge weight off my shoulders, because yesterday I was probably just about ready to light this thing on fire and you know, throw it in the trash, because sometimes these things can just they can eat away at you. So I just took a break yesterday. I had enough, took a break, and then came back fresh today, this afternoon. And then once I figured out, you know, which I was pretty sure was the problem, which it was in the piston side of things, whether it was the piston, the rings, or the cylinder, combination of everything, I changed that out, and then right away when I did the test, I knew I was good.